Yeah,
Ah,
so
well done. Well, 10
thank
out of 10 for making it through. Good morning,
God.
the Perkins family, en route somewhere.
Yeah, where are you going?
We are going to climb Scarfell Pike in the Lake District.
Ooh.
Oh my word, Scarfield Park. So this is part of training for, can you just tell us what it is you're training for? Because I'm just not able to do that.
Well, we are. We're doing the three peaks. So we did Snowdon on Saturday, or Uwydfell rather, and then we're doing Scarfell Pike today and Ben Nevis on Wednesday because we're raising money for some charities in Kenya that we visited when we were there last year, including the Greenbelt Movement, who was set up by Wangari Maathai to kind of plant lots of trees and effectively rewild Kenya. And a couple of organisations that are reusing lots of like tech and spreading it across the country. That's called Close the Gap. And lots of effectively about 6 charities that are either to do with the environment, reducing poverty, or circular economy. So yeah, that's what we're doing it for.
Great. And so this is the actual challenge. You're in the middle of the actual thing. It's not training.
No training. No, this is the actual thing.
Oh,
but
well done.
We
Well,
did
listen,
do some training though.
I know. Well, listen, well done. I'm going to circulate the details of that fundraiser after this, just in case anyone wants to join in, because on the scale of people who should be supported, you come at the top of the list.
Hey.
And we just thought,
well
timing-wise, as it was the first and it was 8 o'clock, we might as well join you.
Well
Yeah, well done for joining on the move. I don't know quite how well this will work because I'm away as well at the moment. Emma Jane, this is a sort of informal thing, and even if we don't manage to do anything useful, it's just a monthly reminder that we should be trying to live more sustainably. If you are able to, would you like to just tell us why you've joined? Because Chris is my sister, Paul is a mate from years ago, and his family is part of my life from the past. But I don't know you. Would you like to just say why you've come along, or would you rather not?
Yes. Well, it's a fast-changing world. It's obviously very strange, and I just want to help towards the new world, as you say, make it more sustainable and learning from other people and hearing other people's stories. And it feels like a lot of people are coming out from under the woodwork and just flourishing and making it a new place. I've been to quite a few events. I've had a couple of weeks off, and I've met some incredible people like yourselves, sort of trying to change the way the old systems are. And yeah, and that was an incredible story. So I didn't quite catch who the people in the car were going to the Lake District, but it's fantastic. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'm committed to keeping this to 15 minutes. And today's a little bit different. I wanted to try and show you a bit of video. I don't know how well this will work, and the people in the car may not catch it all. But it's interesting because it's there's a program on the BBC called Hard Talk where Stephen Sackur interviews usually a world leader about a topic that's not straightforward, that's complicated. And he was interviewing the president of Guyana, which is a country in the north of South America, borders Venezuela, I think, and maybe Brazil. But Guyana has just given licenses for Exxon to exploit a lot of oil reserves in their country. And the interview with Stephen Sackur is so interesting because it just paints a picture of how complicated the issues are. They're not straightforward. And although this might not help us terrifically to live more sustainably today, it will help us understand about climate justice and the fact that we can easily make changes to our lifestyle. Other people can't necessarily. And I just want to play it. It's about 4 minutes, so I hope you will stick with me. But it's this is Stephen Sackur interviewing, or a clip from interviewing Dr. Afan Ali, who's the president of Guyana. So I hope you can hear this. I'm not seeing it isn't so important, but I hope you can hear it at least.
Let's take a big picture look at what's going on here. Over the next decade, 2 decades, it is expected that there will be $150 billion worth of oil and gas extracted off your coast. It's an extraordinary figure, but think of it in practical terms. That means, according to many experts, more than 2 billion tons of carbon emissions will come from your seabed, from those reserves, and be released into the atmosphere. I don't know if you, as a head of state, went to the COP in Dubai.
Let me stop you right there. Do you know that Guyana has a forest forever that is the size of England and Scotland combined? A forest that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon, a forest that we have kept alive, a forest that we have kept alive.
Does that give you the right? Does that give you the right to release all of this carbon?
Does that give you the right to lecture us on climate change? I am going to lecture you on climate change because we have kept this forest alive that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon that you enjoy, that the world enjoy, that you don't pay us for, that you don't value, that you don't see a value in, that the people of Guyana has kept alive. Guess what? We have the lowest deforestation rate in the world. And guess what? Even with our greatest exploration of the oil and gas resource we have now, we will still be net zero. Guyana will still be net zero. With all our exploration,
a couple of points.
Still be net zero.
Powerful words, Mr. President.
I'm not completed as yet. I am not finished as yet. I am just not finished as yet. Because this is the hypocrisy that exists in the world. The world in the last 50 years has lost 65% of all its biodiversity. We have kept our biodiversity. Are you valuing it? Are you ready to pay for it? When is the developed world going to pay for it? Or are you in the pockets? Are you in the pockets of those who have damaged the environment? Are you in the pockets? Are you and your system in the pockets of those who destroyed the environment through the Industrial Revolution and now lecturing us? Are you in their pockets? Are you paid by them? Are you paid to keep their message alive?
Wow. Powerful.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Because I was just really struck by how he just really demolished Stephen Sacker's point. And I don't have any way of knowing the truth of the statistics that either of them were saying, but I think it illustrates quite neatly how we have to take a sort of umbrella picture. I thought it would be interesting to have a quick chat about that this morning.
Powerful words. He really didn't give the guy a chance, did he, to defend himself? And obviously, he doesn't want to be exploited at all. They kept their forests.
I think the thing that struck me is that they're going to be net zero. He didn't give a date for that, but it raised in my mind the question of the fact that we're all still driving around in diesel and petrol vehicles and will be for quite a long time to come, probably. So we actually do, until and unless alternative ways of living are made accessible and affordable, we're going to need oil and gas. I mean, our daughter's just installed a gas boiler in our home, which will hopefully have a 10, 15-year lifespan. So we're going to need that from somewhere. And so the headline things that we should just stop producing oil and gas, not quite so simple, is what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I thought he actually was claiming they were already net zero and would continue to be, even despite hoiking the stuff out of the ocean. I mean, Anna Jane, you're right. He doesn't give way, this guy, but he that's his style. It's hard talk, and he's very abrasive in many ways, but it gets to have some quite interesting discussions. And it is tricky, isn't it? Because we all make decisions at a time based on what we may think is best. Like Stephen was mentioning about his daughter and the boiler. 13 years ago, I bought a new Mini, and it was diesel because at the time that was said to be a better option, I thought. And now it's frowned upon. But actually, I'm also told that it's better to stick with this Mini for the rest of its possible life than to invest in a new something else, whatever that something else might be, because it's better to sustain the thing that has been made and has used all those resources, despite the fact that in making it work, I'm using more of this naughty stuff that we're grabbing from wherever, under the sea or wherever. Anyway, that was just a prompt to me from what we heard.
From
Well,
another,
no, carry on, Emma Jane.
I was going to say, from another event I went to this week, we were talking about EV cars, but again, it's taking resource from the earth, from the lithium and the people that work to extract the lithium. And so there's always a resource that's needed in order for vehicles to work in some way. So, I mean, they're trying to sort of like promote EV cars, aren't they? Government, whoever. But there's always a resource that's needed from somewhere on the earth to keep the transport going, isn't there?
And I think our individual response to that must be to try and get ourselves out of the way of thinking that we must have a personal vehicle into the future. You know, perhaps the lifestyle at the moment requires it, but public transport and group transport is definitely going to be the way forward, I think.
Perhaps they ought to get...
Steve, can I jump in as well?
Please do, Paul. Yeah, go.
So I think the exchange kind of misses the point. I think you've got a politician who is trying to justify massive gas and oil extraction. Obviously, we all depend on that, so I'm not denying that. And he's using as a sort of legitimate argument, but also a bit of a smokescreen, the sort of justice. I think it's much more helpful to have a conversation about reparations, because he's right. You know, different countries have kept their biodiversity while we've destroyed ours. You know, and I don't think that can or should be denied. But I think ultimately we globally need to reduce carbon emissions. It doesn't really matter if one country is net zero or not. And indeed, if that country is currently, you know, a net contributor to the cause, by which I mean far below net zero, then it's better for everybody, including us, if they remain that way. It doesn't really matter if they come up to net zero from something else, and that's worse for everybody. But I think what at the moment is being missed is that there needs to be some sort of financial reward or compensation for that. Otherwise, they're saying, well, what's the incentive? So I think it's an interesting exchange, but I think it misses the point, because effectively it's still a politician marshalling his arguments to justify massive oil extraction, and that's fundamentally what has to change. It's just we have to take responsibility for that too.
Just so glad you joined us this morning, Paul. I rely on you to take the debate to a different level, and I'm so grateful that you did.
Sorry.
No. I just sometimes am bewildered by the way our different brains work, and thank you. That's absolutely brilliant what you just said. I appreciate it. So we're nearly at 8:14, so I'm going to throw open to anyone. Any tips or tricks that you've come across recently for sustainable living?
Still trying to work out how we can encourage more than the supermarkets, like the basic rubbish collector people, to take our soft plastics away, because it's mammoth the amount that there is just in a normal week, and the bins in our local supermarkets are overflowing all the time. So how to get some action on that, I don't know.
I discovered this it wasn't this week, but quite recently. So I work for a council in the UK, and we've recently put these large coverings on our swimming pools, and I hadn't realised that actually the single biggest cause of emissions in leisure centres is maintaining the heat of swimming pools, often overnight when no one's using them. So I just thought that was very encouraging, that people are doing those sorts of things which are reducing emissions, but you might not know it, because things like cover up.
Great. Well, I award you, every single one of you, 10 out of 10 points for turning up on a bank holiday. especially if you're en route somewhere, e.g. the Perkins family. I'm going to circulate their fundraising page because it's something to be supported, and it actually helps sort of even out the world even a little bit, which is what we're all trying to do, I think. Amajad, I do end these fairly promptly so that we don't end up trailing off into not being sure what to say to each other. Thanks for coming along this morning. Do come along next month. It's at first of every month, 8 o'clock. Bring along anyone else you can find. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye.